Hi, I'm Andy from AJA and I'm here to talk you through CION, the new production camera from AJA. CION is a 4K, UHD, 2K and HD camera system. The camera itself has been designed to be ergonomic. This means we can take the camera straight from the box and put it directly on our shoulder. The camera features an ergonomic designed, suede, contoured shoulder pad for that specific purpose. The camera itself is made from a very lightweight magnesium alloy. This means we can keep the weight down to just under 3 kilograms, but significantly we can make the camera itself very, very strong and robust. The sensor sits behind a PL mount, so CION is designed to take the best glass in the world, prime lenses. We think this is very important if you're working in 4K and in UHD, that you have precise glass. However, the whole approach to CION is to produce a camera which has an open system. So in this respect, the PL mount itself is just 4 screws to remove. We can then replace that with alternative mounts produced by third-party manufacturers. That would include such mounts as EF and B4. The sensor itself is an APS-C size sensor designed for 4K acquisition. As such, this is a global shutter, an electronic global shutter, which means our images are very, very stable under any lighting conditions. In front of the sensor, we have an OLPF and IR cut combined filter. This means we're able to remove any extraneous light entering the lens, and we can also then use the OLPF to provide a very sharp image, yet avoid any moire patterning. The sensor itself is around 12 stops of dynamic range. If we look behind the sensor to the top of the camera here, we have mechanical back focus adjustment. If we are going to change our prime lenses significantly, or indeed we are going to use a different mount, it would be advisable to be able to use the mechanical back focus function just to make sure you have all your precise settings for each piece of glass. As we said, CION is open, so we have on the top plate, which is a 1/4-20 plate, and also underneath another 1/4-20 plate. This means we fit all standard accessories very easily straight from the manufacturers. All of our inputs and outputs are also standard sized. We've positioned a PTAP power up the front so you can drive an EVF. We've also added an SDI out and also a HDMI out. Both of these are dedicated to down convert. We currently have the camera in 4K mode, and what's happening is that 4K is being outputted here as a dedicated down convert into our EVF. So we don't have to make any adjustments internally, it will simply just function easily as soon as we set up. We mentioned before that we're 4K, UHD, 2K and HD. If we work in either 2K or HD, we take a sample of the whole sensor block and then we down convert, much in the same way as we do the down convert here. This gives us an image which is very high fidelity, yet we're not reliant on a crop factor on the sensor itself, so the focal length is retained in HD and 2K workflows. The camera itself uses our tried and tested ProRes encoding engine. We've been known now for almost 10 years for ProRes encoding. We can now take the 4K input and using 12-bit analog to digital conversion, take that directly as ProRes 444, and that's up to 30 frames a second to our internal keypack media. That would include 2398, 24, 25, 2997 and 30. Should you wish to go to 60 frames a second at 4K, we'll simply have to adjust the ProRes encoding rate to 422. This is in part due to a limit of the bandwidth of SSD media currently. We would hope to increase that at some point, in which case we'll provide a free firmware update for the user. The camera itself is easily operated as a single user, but in a multi-user environment, we've spread everything out and positioned it in a considered manner, which means it's easy for multiple persons to operate. Currently, we're set for a single user to put the camera on their shoulder. On this side of the camera, we can see we have multiple outputs. As we said before, we have SD and HD and another HDMI here to power the EVF at the front. We also have 4 3G SDIs which are currently powering the rather nice Sony TriMaster 4K monitor we're using today. We can also use a 4K output via the HDMI. 2. Now these are all simultaneously. That means we have 3 outputs which are down converted all at once, and then 2 extra 4K outputs. This results in a total of 5 outputs during a 4K workflow. If we wanted to work in HD or 2K, we will very simply have every single output will be live. So that's 7 outputs, 8 if we include the dedicated confidence monitor on the other side of the camera. So this is the network interface, allowing us to control every function of CION via any browser on any platform. We simply make a fixed IP address inside of CION itself, and then by dialing that into any browser on any platform, we can access all the functions of the camera. We've even made the interface look exactly like the side of the camera, so any user which is only used to operating the camera will find it easy to go through and find the specific functions they want to access. In this particular circumstance, we can also record. So now I'm making a recording here, and we can see the time code running. This is going to run on for a little bit, and then we'll just stop that there. We'll come back to what we can do with that clip shortly. You can also see within here, we can set up presets. So we can set up multiple CIONs and then clone the presets and add them across. Using gang control, we're able to set one camera as the master and then control the others. We can also see the amount of clips we have left, or the footage rather we have left on our SSD media as well. By hitting all clips in the playlist, the highlighted blue clip is the last clip that we had. So now we can take that clip, and by using simple FTP protocol, we can now bring that clip over. Now we must bear in mind here that pulling over 100 gig clips or 200 gig clips over LAN is probably not highly recommended. This is a very quick and easy way to bring a sample clip into the interface so we can check for color fidelity and focus. Very important if the camera is in a remote position. It's just downloading now into our downloads folder, and as soon as it's downloaded, the actual file will open up for us in QuickTime and we can take a look. It's very straightforward then to see, and here we are. So by using the full screen functions of this as well, we can take that clip, play it back, hit full screen, and we can punch in 1:1 to take into our pixels the fact that this is 4K. Very straightforward and easy to check our clips. Using this workflow as well, we're also able to control multiple CIONs, as we said before, within the interface. We can also go through and make any changes we like and save them as well. We can see the software version we're using, and we can even deploy network updates very, very easily using the interface.